Hello and welcome to learning session number 7 of chapter number 3 of science 1, which is chemical reactions and equations. So far we had seen introduction, we had seen chemical and physical changes, we had seen chemical reactions through experiments, and we had seen chemical equations. Then we had seen how to balance chemical equations, and we had seen types of chemical reactions. We had seen combination reaction where two or more reactants combine to become one single product, decomposition reaction where one single reactant gets decomposed into smaller molecules or smaller pieces. Displacement reaction is the reaction in which one part of a reactant detaches itself from the original molecule and attaches itself to some other molecule or atom. Okay, so that is displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction is reaction in which the ions are exchanged and a precipitate is formed. And finally, endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic means reaction in which heat is absorbed, and exothermic is a reaction in which heat is given out. Then we had seen factors affecting rate. Rate means speed of a chemical reaction. So we had seen nature of reactants. If the reactivity is high, the speed of reaction will be high. Size of particles of reactants. So if the size of the particles of reactants is small, then the rate of reaction will be more. The speed will be high. Concentration of reactants. If you use strong acids, then the speed of reaction will be high. If you use weak acids, dilute acids, then the speed of the reaction will be slow. Temperature of the reaction, higher the temperature, more is the speed of the reaction. And catalysts are just substances which do not take part in the chemical reaction. They don't change chemically, but they will either increase the speed of the reaction or decrease the speed of the reaction. Finally, in the last learning session, we had seen oxidation and reduction. So oxidation ke there are two definitions. One definition is either gaining oxygen or losing hydrogen. Okay, that could be oxygen, or that could be oxidation. Or the second definition of oxidation is losing electrons. Okay, दोनों definitions correct है oxidation के लिए. Reduction is opposite of oxidation. Okay, so reduction ke bhi again there will be two definitions. One definition will be attaching to hydrogen or losing oxygen. That is one definition of reduction. The second definition will be gaining electrons. Oxidation is losing electrons, reduction is gaining electrons. Okay, so these are the two definitions of oxidation and reduction. And we had seen redox reaction, right? What is redox reaction? When oxidation and reduction, both of them are occurring simultaneously at the same time in the same chemical reaction, that is called as a redox reaction. Okay. The topics we are going to cover today, first is corrosion and the second one is rancidity. Okay, corrosion and rancidity. The new words we are going to learn today is rancid, foul and odor. Okay, rancid, foul and odor. Okay, the objective for today is going to be students will be able to explain corrosion and rancidity. You should be able to explain both of these terms. As promised, I'm going to begin all learning sessions in chemistry chapters with this particular table. You'll need to by heart this table, memorize this table. Okay, great. So let us quickly review oxidation and reduction through this example. Okay, so here we have Fe, right? What is Fe? Fe means iron, lokhand. Okay, so iron, iska yahan pe, what is the charge on iron here? The charge is zero, right? Neutral hai wo, na hi positive hai, na hi negative hai, so we'll call it zero. It has zero charge here. What about here? What is the charge on Fe over here? And why am I asking this question? Because Fe ke do states ho sakte. It can be in 2 plus state or it can be in 3 plus state. This I've taken from the previous table, right? So 2 plus state ko ferrous bolte hai and 3 plus state ko ferric bolte hai. So यहाँ पे 2 plus state में या 3 plus state में, how will you know that? You know that oxide is always in 2 minus state, right? So ये 2 minus state में और पूरा का पूरा neutral है, पूरा का पूरा zero है. So उसको balance करने के लिए it should have plus 2, right? So अगर इसका minus 2 है तो इसका plus 2 होगा, तो ही plus 2 minus 2 मिलके 0 बन जाएगा, right? So Fe is here in 2 plus state. Okay, so when Fe goes from 0 charge to 2 plus charge, it means it is being oxidized. Q? Because the second definition of oxidation says whenever you lose electrons, it means oxidation has occurred. So Fe neutral से positive कैसे बन रहा है? Whenever Fe loses 2 electrons, उस पे plus 2 charge आ जाएगा, right? whenever Fe loses 2 electrons, उस पे खुद पे +2 चार्ज आ जाएगा. So इसलिए when Fe goes from Fe to FeO, it is oxidizing. Similarly, here what is the charge on Fe? Again I said, right, to figure that out, see the charge of the other thing. Here you have oxide. Oxide का क्या charge होता है? -2. So यहाँ पे -2 ऑक्सीजन चार्ज वाले 3 एटम्स है ऑक्सीजन के, राइट. सो यू विल मल्टीप्लाई -2 बाय 3. क्यों 3 से मल्टीप्लाई किया? क्योंकि 3 ऑक्सीजन के एटम्स है. सो -2 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 3 विल बी -6. एंड ओवरऑल ये पॉजिटिव, ओवरऑल ये न्यूट्रल है. सो -6 को बैलेंस करने के लिए Fe को +6 होना चाहिए. भाई +6 के लिए 2 एटम्स है. सो एक पे +3 हो जाएगा, एक पे +3 हो जाएगा. तो +3 +3 +6 हो जाएगा, राइट. सो हियर Fe is in +3 state, ferric state. So again Fe2 plus से Fe3 plus हो गया. So यहाँ से यहाँ क्या फर्क पड़ा होगा? Fe lost one more electron. So when Fe loses one more electron, तो +2 का +3 हो जाएगा. एक इलेक्ट्रॉन चला गया तो एक एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज आ जाता, right? So even when Fe is transforming from FeO to Fe2O3, it is getting oxidized. And the same explanation is for रिडक्शन. ओके, Fe3 प्लस से Fe2 प्लस हो गया, यानी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन कर लिया. सो अगर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन कर लिया तो एक नेगेटिव चार्ज हो जाएगा, राइट. सो +3 का +2 हो जाएगा, क्योंकि +3 -1 इज +2. सो यहाँ पे +3 से +2 फॉर्म में चला गया बिकॉज ऑफ गेनिंग वन इलेक्ट्रॉन. इट इज रिडक्शन. क्यों? व्हाई इज दिस रिडक्शन? बिकॉज द सेकंड डेफिनेशन ऑफ रिडक्शन इज एक्सेप्टिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, गेनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन. सिमिलरली यहाँ पे +2 स्टेट से 0 स्टेट में चला गया. Why is that? Because it accepted 2 electrons. When Fe2 plus takes 2 electrons, so Fe का 2 plus और electrons का 2 minus, 2 plus 2 minus will become 0 and it will become neutral again. So again this is called reduction. Okay, so Fe से FeO is oxidation, FeO से Fe2O3 is oxidation, and in the reverse direction Fe2O3 से FeO is reduction and FeO से Fe is reduction. Okay, great. Now let us try an experiment. So in this experiment, we have taken 4 test tubes, okay, and in those 4 test tubes, all test tubes we have put a nail. Okay, nail is what? Nail यानी कीला, okay, or you can even put a screw, but वो आयन का बनना होना चाहिए. Okay, आयन यानी लोखंड, लोखंड का स्क्रू होना चाहिए या फिर लोखंड का कीला होना चाहिए. So we are putting a nail in all 4 test tubes. In the first test tube, we are also putting water. Okay, we are putting boiled water because of pure होना चाहिए, right? अगर boil कर लोगे तो pure water बन जाएगा. So you put boiled water here and at the top you put oil. So when you put oil in water, it does not mix, right? So oil is going to come up. So यहाँ पे ऊपर oil आ जाएगा. Okay, why are we putting oil? So that there is no contact between the nail and the air. Okay, क्योंकि ऊपर oil का layer बन रहा है. So air का और वो nail का contact नहीं होगा. So that is first test tube. Second test tube, we are putting salt solution. So again you put some water and you put some नमक in it. Okay, नमक is salt, right? So थोड़ा salt डाल दो और थोड़ा पानी डाल दो. So that's your second test tube. Third test tube में you are not putting anything. You are only putting the nail and there will be air around it, right? Last one, you are putting anhydrous calcium chloride. What is the meaning of anhydrous? Anhydrous yani it does not contain any water. Okay, without water. Anhydrous means no water content. Why are you putting calcium chloride? ताकि अंदर का जो कुछ भी moisture है water absorb कर लेगा. Calcium chloride absorbs water very well. Okay, and you're putting or you're sealing the fourth test tube. So अगर तुम लोग ने test tube को seal कर दिया, outside air cannot enter inside. Okay, so these are your 4 test tubes. So we are just going to keep it as it is and we're going to check after 10-15 days. And now you have to make predictions after 10-15 days what change is going to happen for that particular nail. Okay, उस कीले में क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है 10-15 दिन के बाद, that you have to predict. Okay, so I'll wait for 5 seconds. You can pause the video here and make your predictions कि कौन से टेस्ट ट्यूब में क्या क्या चेंजेस होने वाला है. Okay. Okay, I hope you have your predictions ready. So after 10-15 days, if you check, you're going to find in the first test tube there is no change in the test tube. Second test tube, you will find the iron nail is rusted. The third test tube, you will find that the iron nail is rusted, and the fourth test tube, the iron shows no change. Okay, so that just check whether your predictions were correct or not. So you understand two things from here. Okay, the first thing you understand is you need both air and water for rusting to happen. यहाँ पे did the nail have water around? Yes, यहाँ पे पानी था. But did it have air around? No, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक oil का layer बन गया था. It did not have air contact to the outside air. So यहाँ पे सिर्फ पानी था तो rusting नहीं हुआ. यहाँ पे was there air? Yes, test tube के अंदर air था, right? But पानी के कांटेक्ट में आया क्या ये नेल? नहीं आया. क्यों? क्योंकि बाहर से कोई मॉइस्चर अंदर नहीं आ सकता. ऊपर से सील कर दे तो बाहर से कोई भी मॉइस्चर अंदर नहीं जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ एयर था तो रस्टिंग नहीं हुआ. यहाँ पे सिर्फ पानी था फिर भी रस्टिंग नहीं हुआ. तुम लोग को दोनों पानी भी होना चाहिए और एंड एयर भी होना चाहिए फॉर रस्टिंग टू अकर. ओके, इन द सेकेंड टेस्ट ट्यूब it is getting rusted, and the third test tube it is getting rusted. So second test tube it is in contact with the outside air and you have water around, and in the third test tube you have only air, but it can also absorb water from the atmosphere. Atmosphere में water vapors होते हैं, right? There is moisture in the air, so through that moisture it can absorb water and it can rust. Okay, also one more thing that you notice is सेकेंड टेस्ट ट्यूब में जो नेल है वो ज्यादा रस्ट हुआ है. ओके, इट हैज अंडरगॉन रस्टिंग a little more as compared to this one. Okay, again what does that tell you? You have put salt here, right? पानी में salt डाला है. So whenever you put salt near the iron rod or iron object, it will rust quickly. Okay, वो ज्यादा easily और ज्यादा fast rust होने वाला. And at the end you will see some reddish color layer being formed on the upper layer of the nails. Okay, तो ऐसा रेड कलर का दिखने लग जाएगा. Okay, so what were our conclusions from this experiment? The first conclusion was you need both water as well as air for rusting. Okay, सिर्फ एक होगा तो rusting नहीं होने वाला. Next, the rusting process takes place rapidly or fast in the presence of salt. अगर salt डालोगे तुम आयन के आजू बाजू तो ज्यादा स्पीड में रस्टिंग होने वाला. So a certain type of reddish colored solid layer collects on the metallic surface. This layer is called rust. Okay, और उसका केमिकल फॉर्मूला क्या है? Fe2O3.x. x का मतलब कि यहाँ पे कोई भी नंबर हो सकता है. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 10, it could be any number. Okay, it depends केमिकल रिएक्शन कैसे फॉर्म हो रहा है. Okay, और कैसे प्रोसीड हो रहा है. So .H2, ये दो अलग अलग मॉलिक्यूल्स नहीं है. Okay, this is one big molecule. The molecule of Fe2O3 and H2O both are combined. Okay, और कितने H2O के molecules होंगे that depends on the reaction. Okay, so what is corrosion? Okay, this is one of the topics we are going to learn today, right? So corrosion is basically rusting. Okay, ये जो rusting process है उसको एक दूसरा नाम है corrosion. So the rust on iron does not form by a simple reaction of oxygen with iron surface. So यहाँ पे Fe is getting oxidized, right? I've told you. Whenever Fe is turning into Fe2O3, इसका मतलब oxidation हो रहा है. दो बार oxidation हो रहा है, right? But it is not as simple as okay, so it is not as simple as यहाँ पे Fe एलिमेंट है, यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन एलिमेंट है, दोनों कंबाइन हो गए और ऑक्सीडेशन हो गए. इट्स नॉट दैट सिंपल. ओके, द रिएक्शन इज अ लिटिल मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड and the nature or the type of reaction is a electrochemical reaction. Okay, तो rust कैसे फॉर्म होता है? इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल रिएक्शन से फॉर्म होता है. केमिकल रिएक्शंस वी नो, राइट? व्हाट आर केमिकल रिएक्शन? जिसमें either new bonds are being formed or bonds are being broken, तो उसको केमिकल रिएक्शन बोलते हैं. इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल रिएक्शन मतलब उसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन्स भी एक्सचेंज होने वाले हैं. ओके, सो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स भी एक्सचेंज होंगे और बॉन्ड्स भी ब्रेक होने वाले, बॉन्ड्स भी नए फॉर्म होने वाले. So this process is called corrosion. Okay, corrosion को rusting भी बोल सकते हैं. Both of the words have same meaning. So how is this electrochemical reaction going to take place in iron? Different regions on the surface of iron become anode and cathode. Okay, so iron का अगर ऑब्जेक्ट ले लो, रस्ट हो रहा है वो आयन का ऑब्जेक्ट, तो उसके अलग अलग सर्फेसेस, कुछ सर्फेसेस एनोड बन जाएंगे और कुछ सर्फेसेस कैथोड बन जाएंगे. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ एनोड? एनोड मींस अ पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड region, and what is cathode? Cathode मतलब negatively charged region. Okay, so इसको याद कैसे रखना है? A simple way to remember this is just from the word panic. Okay, so panic का full form क्या है? Positive anode, negative is cathode. Okay, so just by remembering this one word panic, we'll always remember anode means positively charged region, cathode means negatively charged region. Okay, so do remember this through this one particular word, panic. Okay, So there is a end of chapter question given in your textbook. Don't copy this diagram, okay? I've written copy over here, so only write the question, but don't copy this diagram. Okay. So the question says, observe the following picture and write down the chemical reaction with explanation. So किसका picture है? If you see here, it is an iron object. Here you have a water droplet और यहाँ पे red color का rust form हो रहा है. तो ये rust कैसे form हो रहा है उसका picture है. Okay, and you have to explain it. So again, this is a very important question from board point of view. जिसमें भी diagrams होते हैं ऐसे important, जिसमें equations वगैरह है, those are important from board point of view. So you all cannot leave this particular thing in option. Okay. And if you see यहाँ पे दिख रहा है थोड़ा complicated है, इतना easy नहीं है, right? So you might have to watch this video again and again. अभी जो मैं explain करूँगा, but do not leave this out in option for board exam. Okay, it is important from board exams point of view. So don't draw this diagram yet. Just copy this question. And if you want a better diagram, this is a better diagram. Okay, यहाँ पे ज़्यादा easily और ज़्यादा clearly दिख रहा है कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. Okay. Okay. So for me to explain this process or explain this entire all these reactions and the entire process, I will have to go to the board now. Okay, so we'll meet near the board. Okay. Okay, so we are trying to understand corrosion, which also means rusting of iron. Iron matlab lokhand, right? So here I have drawn a diagram and here I have written a few equations. For now you can ignore all the equations written over here. You will only have to focus on the diagram right now. Okay, so here I have put a rectangular piece of iron and iron element ka symbol kya hai? Fe. Okay, so this is my iron and this is a water drop on that iron piece. Okay, काफी magnified image hai. Okay. So first thing that we need to know is how does water exist in the water droplet? हमें क्या लगता है? Water always exists in the form of H2O, right? But that's not the complete truth. Water inside water drops also exists in the form of H plus and OH minus. Okay, so H2 मॉलिक्यूल भी हो सकता है वाटर ड्रॉपलेट में और उसके जगह पे H प्लस एंड OH माइनस के फॉर्म में भी हो सकता है. ओके, सो लेट मी ड्रॉ वन मोर. Water molecule which has been split into H plus and OH minus. Okay, so water can be in the form of H2 also and it can be in the form of H plus and OH minus also in the water droplet. That's the first thing we need to know. The next thing we need to know is there will be some oxygen also which has been dissolved in the water. Okay, many times पानी के अंदर oxygen dissolved होता है. Okay, so I have put O2 inside the water droplet. So water droplet में क्या क्या चीजें हैं? There is H2O, water molecule. Water molecule can also exist in the form of H plus and OH minus, and there will be some oxygen gas. Okay, we see, right? We have seen that for rusting two things are necessary. Water is necessary and the second thing which is necessary is air. तो air में से oxygen अगर नहीं होगा तो rusting नहीं होता. Okay, so oxygen gas from the air around the water drop is dissolved inside the water droplet. Okay, so you also have some O2 molecules which is gaseous form of oxygen. Okay, now the first thing that is going to happen is यहाँ पे जो iron के atoms है, what is going to happen because of this water droplet? उसके वजह से ये iron के atoms split हो जाएंगे Fe2 plus में and it will give out 2 electrons. Okay, similarly समझो एक और Fe का atom split हो गया Fe2 plus and 2 electrons में. Okay, why is this happening? Because of the water droplet. So this is the first equation. Okay, Fe जो solid form में, iron जो solid form में, that is going to split into or decompose into Fe2 plus. यहाँ पे aqueous क्यों लिखा है? क्योंकि Fe2 plus होके वो पानी में चला जाता है. Whatever is mixed inside water, we call it as aqueous solution. Okay, so Fe2 plus goes into water and 2 electrons are left inside the iron piece. Okay, now what is 2 electrons plus 2 electrons? We will get 4 electrons, right? So we are ending up with 4 electrons after the first step. So first step is done. Another thing is, what is happening here? Fe is losing electrons, right? Whenever something is losing electrons, we call it as oxidation. So यहाँ पे Fe is being oxidized because it is losing electrons. Another thing, whenever you lose electrons, you get positively charged, right? So यानी ये जो area है, give me a minute. Yes, so this area is now going to be positively charged. क्यों? क्योंकि electrons चला गया, right? So this part is also called as anode, and we know anode मतलब positively charged region, right? So this happens in the anode region. Okay? क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे electrons चले गए. जब भी electrons चले जाते हैं वो थोड़ा positive हो जाता है. So this is anode region. Okay? Next, let us see the second step. Now we have 4 electrons over here. Okay? We have 4 electrons over here. Now 2 things can happen. One thing is these 4 electrons which are negatively charged can be attracted by, first it will be attracted by H plus, क्योंकि H plus positive है, electrons negative है, right? So negative positive are going to be attracted towards each other. So these 4 electrons can be attracted to H plus, and at the same time they will also be attracted to oxygen molecules which are dissolved inside the water droplet. Okay, why? ऑक्सीजन क्यों उसको अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है? ऑक्सीजन इज वेरी इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिव. इफ यू रिमेंबर पीरियोडिक टेबल और पीरियोडिक क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, इन दैट वी हैड सीन, राइट? ऑक्सीजन इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिव एलिमेंट्स. इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिव यानी उसको इलेक्ट्रॉन्स चाहिए. इट ऑलवेज ट्राइज टू गेन मोर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स सो दैट इट बिकम्स मोर स्टेबल. सो दीज 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स will be attracted by hydrogen H plus and so this is not hydrogen, this is hydrogen ion. Okay, जब भी हाइड्रोजन एलिमेंट होगा उसको हाइड्रोजन बोलेंगे, जो H plus है हाइड्रोजन आयन बोलेंगे. ओके, सो इट विल बी अट्रैक्टेड बाय H plus and oxygen both at the same time, and what you will get is water. Okay, when these two combine you get water H2. So this is your equation number 2. Oxygen which is in the gaseous state, जो पानी के वाटर के ड्रॉप में डिसॉल्व हो चुका है, एंड फॉर H plus कहां से आया? सम H2 मॉलिक्यूल्स एग्जिस्ट एज H plus and OH minus, राइट? तो वहां से H plus आया था. तो ये दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को अट्रैक्ट करने वाले हैं, एंड आफ्टर दिस रिएक्शन यू आर गोइंग टू गेट H2O molecule. So this is one option. Another reaction which can happen is these 4 electrons could also be attracted by directly a hydrogen molecule, a water molecule. Okay, so directly ये जो 4 electrons है इसको समझो एक वाटर मॉलिक्यूल ने अट्रैक्ट कर लिया, एंड एट द सेम टाइम एक ऑक्सीजन मॉलिक्यूल ने भी अट्रैक्ट कर लिया. ओके, सो इफ these 4 electrons, okay, here are your 4 electrons, and रेड वाले में जो 4 electrons है वो यहाँ पे है. Okay, so these 4 electrons can either combine with oxygen and H plus, or they can combine with oxygen and H2O molecule directly. Then what you get OH minus. Okay, so इन दोनों को, इन दो reactions के वजह से you get OH minus. Okay, so these are the 2 options which can take place these are the 2 things which can happen to these 4 electrons. अभी यहाँ पे देखो 4 electrons are being combined, right? Whenever electrons are being combined, it is called as reduction, right? Whenever you lose electrons, it is called oxidation. Whenever you gain electrons, it is called as reduction. तो जहाँ पे भी reduction होता है, you are gaining electrons, यानी तुम्हारा negative charge बढ़ रहा है. Whenever you get negative charge, you are becoming negative, right? And if you are becoming negative, तो ये वाला पूरा area negative हो जाएगा. So this will be called as cathode. Okay, ये एरिया को कैथोड बोलेंगे. Either of the 2 reactions, कौन से भी 2 रिएक्शन हो गए, 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एब्जॉर्ब हो रहे, राइट? सो 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एब्जॉर्ब हो रहे, इसलिए इन दोनों एरिया को हम लोग बोलेंगे कैथोड. कैथोड मतलब इट इज द नेगेटिव एरिया, राइट? इट इज द नेगेटिव एरिया ऑफ द सब्सटेंस. ओके, सो either of these two reactions can take place. Then third step में क्या होने वाला है? Fe2 plus reacts with OH minus in the water to become Fe3 plus. Okay, so another OH minus reaction में आने वाला है. So let us take this OH minus
ये OH माइनस समझो इस Fe2 के साथ रिएक्ट कर रहा है. ओके, सो दिस Fe2 plus and OH minus are going to react and they are going to oxidize Fe further to give you Fe3 plus. Okay, so here you had Fe2 plus that is going to react with OH minus in the water. वो water में कहां से आया, या तो इस रिएक्शन से आ सकता है, ब्लू वाले रिएक्शन से, या ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट हो सकता है पानी में से. ओके, so it is going to react with that and it is going to oxidize further. Okay, again मैं oxidize क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, it is losing electrons, right? ये Fe2 plus से Fe3 plus कैसे हो सकता है, एक और इलेक्ट्रॉन चला गया तो एक और पॉजिटिव चार्ज बढ़ जाएगा, राइट? इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ ऑक्सीडाइज हो जाएगा. That's why the word oxidization is being used by me. Okay, so this can become Fe3 plus. So our third step is also done. Last step में क्या हो रहा है, Fe3 plus aqueous क्योंकि ये पानी में है, right? This Fe3 plus is in water, that's why they are saying it as aqueous, plus H2O. Now you have so many H2O molecules, right? You can directly take this molecule or you can take the you can take the H2O molecule. Okay, so finally this Fe3 plus is going to combine with H2O. Okay, and what are you going to get? You are going to get Fe2O3 dot H2O. Okay, what are you going to get? Fe2O3 dot H2O. Okay, ये पूरा का पूरा एक combined molecule है. These are not two different things जो मैंने साथ में लिखे हैं. This is one molecule. Okay, and इसी को हम लोग रस्ट बोलते हैं. Okay, ये रेड कलर का होगा. Okay, so I'm going to revise everything one more time. The first thing you need to know is how is water present in water droplets. It can be in the form of H2O or it can be in the form of H plus and OH minus. कोई भी फॉर्म में हो सकता है. The second thing you need to know about water droplets is oxygen gas is dissolved in water. Okay, so oxygen gas O2 फॉर्म में होता है. It is single oxygen का atom air में नहीं होता, वो हमेशा double होता है, right? So oxygen atom हमेशा दो पानी के अंदर dissolved हो सकते हैं. That is the second thing you need to know. Now our process of rusting is going to begin. So the first step is Fe, which is in the solid form over here, it is going to lose 2 electrons and it is going to become Fe2 plus. Okay, so this is your first step. Now because it is losing 2 electrons, it means it is becoming positive, right? When whichever side is positive, you call it as anode, right? Anode is the positive side. Okay, and also we call the what do we call the first process? We also call the first process oxidation. Q, because Fe is losing electrons. Whenever you lose electrons, it is called oxidation. Okay, so first step is also called oxidation of ion. Okay, so first step is done. Second step, यहाँ पे समझो one more Fe atom becomes Fe2 plus and 2 electrons are released. So 2 electrons plus 2 electrons, you will get 4 electrons. Okay, now these 4 electrons can be attracted in 2 ways. One way of that attraction is it can be attracted by H plus and the O2 molecule. दोनों से एक साथ attraction आ गया. So because of that, which reaction is going to take place? O2, which is in the gaseous form, but it is inside the water droplet जो mix हो गया पानी के साथ, plus H plus ions in aqueous solution. पानी में already H plus present होता है because H2O is present in H2O form or H plus and OH form. So वो H plus ये दोनों combine हो जाते हैं 4 electrons से, you get 2 water molecules. So the right equation gives you water molecules. Okay, this is one way. The other way could be these 4 electrons. See the blue equation now. These 4 electrons can be attracted to water molecules and oxygen molecules together. Okay, so if that happens, oxygen molecule and water molecule is going to react with these 4 electrons, and what you're going to get is OH minus ions. So if you see at the end of the blue reaction, you get OH minus. Either of the two can happen. Okay, so if you notice, O2 काफी important है. O2 के बिना ये reaction नहीं होगा. That's why you need air, right? अगर air नहीं होगा तो rusting नहीं होता. क्यों? क्योंकि rusting process के लिए you need O2 molecules. If there are no O2 molecules from the air to react with, तो फिर rusting is not going to take place. Okay, that's why air is important. Okay, so we are done with the second step also. Next is the third step. Third step में क्या होने वाला है? Here Fe2 plus was already oxidized, right? Fe2 plus हो गया था, already oxidized हो गया था. It is going to be further oxidized, और ज़्यादा oxidized होने वाला है. इसके वजह से that Fe2 plus is going to be further oxidized by OH minus. अभी ये OH minus वाटर मॉलिक्यूल से निकला हुआ OH माइनस भी हो सकता है, या फिर ये जो रिएक्शन के एंड में मिला वो भी OH हो सकता है, कोई भी OH हो सकता है. ओके, so Fe2 plus is going to react with OH minus molecules either because of this blue reaction और जो पानी में ऑलरेडी था उसके वजह से. Now Fe2 plus is going to be further ऑक्सीडाइज होगा यानी एक और इलेक्ट्रॉन चला जाएगा. एक और इलेक्ट्रॉन चला गया तो उसके ऊपर एक पॉजिटिव चार्ज इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. सो Fe2 plus will become Fe3 plus after reacting with OH minus from here or from here. Okay, so the Fe2 plus has lost one more electron, has further oxidized, and because एक इलेक्ट्रॉन चला गया, नेगेटिव चार्ज चला गया, तो उसके पे एक पॉजिटिव चार्ज इंक्रीज हो गया, Fe3 plus बन गया. Okay, so we are done with our third step also. Now the last step is remaining, Fe3 plus water molecule. So जो Fe3 plus बन गया, that is going to combine with one water molecule and it is going to give you Fe2O3 dot H2O. This entire thing is one molecule. Okay, so Fe2O3 plus H2O, that's what we call rust. और end में तुम्हें 6H plus ions भी मिल जाएंगे. So this is the entire process of corrosion of iron or rusting of iron. Okay, so make sure you are copying these 4 steps systematically in your notebook and you are drawing this diagram systematically in your notebooks in such a way that you understand. Okay, I think one thing which I did not revise was anode and cathode. यहाँ पे anode क्यों बन गया? क्योंकि electrons were given out. Electrons जा रहे तो positive बन रहा है. Whatever is positive is anode. यहाँ पे 4 electrons absorb हो रहे हैं. Whenever electrons are being absorbed, यानी positive charge is negative charge is increasing. Electrons are there, electrons are negatively charged. So electrons आ गए तो मेरा negative charge increase हो जाएगा. So I will become negative, and that's why that part is called as cathode, because cathode is negative. Okay, so just make sure you are understanding this well and then copying it in your notebooks. Okay.
Okay, now that you have understood how the rusting process or corrosion process for iron takes place, now you all can just copy the answer. Okay, so this is the answer for that particular question. These are the first 4 points of the answer. Okay, I'll move this baju mein. Okay, so these are the first 4 points of the answer, and the last 2 points are these 2 points. Okay, I've already explained you the entire process. This is just a better way to write the answer. Okay, in 6 points. It's a huge question and it will mostly come for 5 marks. Okay, cool. So let us quickly revise what's corrosion. Due to various components of atmosphere, okay, atmosphere में क्या है? Water vapor है, moisture है, and oxygen gas है. So all these are components of atmosphere. Oxidation of metals takes place. We just saw, right? Iron का oxidation कैसे होता है? वैसे दूसरे metals का भी oxidation हो सकता है. And consequently resulting in their damage. तो जब भी iron object rust हो जाता है और उसका strength कम हो जाता है, right? इसकी वजह से बहुत से bridges भी गिर जाते हैं. If you see, India is very famous for ब्रिज कोलैप्सेस. कोई भी ब्रिज बना दिया गवर्नमेंट ने इंडिया के तो वो गिरना ही गिरना है कुछ सालों में. सो व्हाई इज दैट हैपनिंग? दैट हैपेंस जनरली बिकॉज हम लोग जो नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स यूज करते हो आयरन के होते हैं, और अगर आयरन के नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स अच्छे क्वालिटी के नहीं होंगे तो दे गोइंग टू रस्ट, और एक बार रस्ट हो गए वो वीक हो जाएंगे एंड द एंटायर स्ट्रक्चर कैन कोलैप्स. ओके, so because of corrosion huge damage can take place. Okay, so this is called as corrosion, and iron rusts and a reddish colored layer is collected on it, and this is called corrosion of iron. Okay, so we have completed corrosion. Now what is rancidity? So when we use old leftover cooking oil, okay, अगर पुराना तेल यूज किया या फिर बहुत टाइम से यूज नहीं किया हुआ कुकिंग ऑयल अगर हम लोग ने यूज कर लिया फॉर मेकिंग फूड स्टफ, it is found to have foul odor. Okay, foul odor. Foul मतलब क्या? Foul यानी खराब. Okay, और something unpleasant. Odor यानी smell. Okay, foul यानी खराब, odor यानी smell. So अगर बहुत दिन पहले का कुकिंग ऑयल होगा या फिर बहुत पुराना कुकिंग ऑयल होगा तो उसमें जो फूड स्टफ बनाते हैं हम लोग, उस ऑयल को यूज करके जो खाना पकाते हैं हम लोग, उसका बहुत ही गंदा बास आएगा. ओके, सो इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं रैंसिडिटी. ओके, व्हाट इज रैंसिड का मतलब क्या है? रैंसिड का मतलब है सड़ जाना. ओके, खराब हो जाना या सड़ जाना. दैट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ रैंसिड. सो इफ फूड इज कुक्ड इन सच ऑयल इट टेस्ट आल्सो चेंजेस. तो अगर तुम लोग ने खराब ऑयल में या फिर जो बहुत पुराना ऑयल है उसमें अगर कुछ पकाने की कोशिश की, वो जो कुछ भी टेस्ट है वो भी चेंज होने वाला है. ओके, when oil or ghee is left aside for a long time, or fried food is left aside for a long time, it undergoes air oxidation and becomes rancid. Okay, सो अगर बहुत टाइम तक ऑयल को या फिर घी को वैसे के वैसे रखा, यूज नहीं किया, या फिर जिस भी चीज को फ्राई करके रखा है, ओके, दैट कुड बी चिप्स, दैट कुड बी फ्राइज, दैट कुड बी पोटैटो वेजेस, सुन के ही भूख लग रहा है अभी। सो जो कुछ फ्राइड ऑब्जेक्ट्स है उसको अगर तुम लोग ने बहुत टाइम तक ऐसे ही रखा, यूज नहीं किया, खा नहीं लिया, सो क्या होने वाला है, वो oxidation is going to take place. Again, what is oxidation? Either it is going to combine with oxygen or it is going to lose hydrogen, या फिर it is going to lose electrons. Okay, and we have seen जब भी oxidation हो जाता है it becomes bad, right? वो weak हो जाता है, bad हो जाता है, taste change हो जाता है, smell, गंदा स्मेल आने लग जाता है, तो उसको बोलते हैं rancid. rancid मतलब सड़ जाना, खराब हो जाना. So rancidity in the food stuff cooked in oil or ghee is prevented by antioxidants. तो अगर मैंने बोला कि अगर तुम लोग ने ऑयल को बहुत टाइम तक यूज नहीं किया और वैसे के वैसे रखा, तो उसमें गंदा स्मेल आ जाता है, वो खराब हो जाता है, राइट? तो डब्बे में कैसे रखते हैं? फॉर एग्जांपल, तुम जिस दुकान में जाते हो और दुकान से वो ऑयल का डब्बा खरीद के आ जाते हो, उस डब्बे में तो बहुत टाइम से रखा है, राइट, ऑयल, तो वो खराब नहीं होता। जैसे तुम लोग ने घर पे लेके आके खोल दिया, तब वो फटाक से यूज होना चाहिए, तब वो खराब हो सकता है। व्हाई इज दैट? कि उस डब्बे के अंदर एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स रखे हुए होते हैं। ओके, एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स। सो इफ यू पुट एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स, देन वो ज्यादा वो इजीली ऑक्सीडाइज नहीं हो पाएगा, एंड बिकॉज इट इज नॉट इजीली ऑक्सीडाइजिंग, वो ज्यादा देर तक यूज किया जा सकता है। ओके, एंड द प्रोसेस ऑफ ऑक्सीडेशन रिएक्शन ऑफ फूड स्टफ can also be slowed down by storing it in airtight container. So just check in your house, तुम लोग ने जहां पे भी ऑयल रखा होगा, कुकिंग ऑयल, वो जिस डब्बे में रखा होगा उसको बहुत ही टाइटली बंद करके रखते हैं, और जो डब्बा भी होता है वो जनरली अच्छे क्वालिटी का होता है, ताकि एयर अंदर ना जाए और अंदर का एयर बाहर ना आ जाए। ओके, सो इफ मोर एयर गोज इन, देन ऑक्सीडाइज होने के ज्यादा ज्यादा चांसेस है, राइट? सो अगर ऑक्सीडेशन का स्पीड स्लो करना है, ज्यादा दिन तक टिकना चाहिए, तो उसको तुम लोग एयर टाइट कंटेनर में डाल सकते हो, जिससे एयर एक्सचेंज नहीं होना चाहिए उस बॉक्स के अंदर का। Okay, so that is rancidity. So the new words we learned today is are, first is rancid. rancid यानी stale, यानी खराब हुआ, खराब या फिर सड़ा हुआ। Okay, foul यानी unpleasant या फिर bad, odor यानी smell. Okay, so foul odor यानी unpleasant smell. Have you accomplished today's learning session or learning objective for today? Can you explain corrosion and rancidity? And कैन यू एक्सप्लेन कोरोजन ऑफ आयन? वो जो लंबा सा हम लोग ने आंसर लिखा है अपने नोटबुक्स में, उसको तुम लोग अपने एक फ्रेंड को एक्सप्लेन कर पाओगे क्या, या फिर तुम एग्जाम में लिख के एग्जामिनर को एक्सप्लेन कर पाओगे क्या? दैट यू हैव टू चेक फॉर योरसेल्फ। ओके, कोरोजन ऑफ आयन, वो जो लंबा सा प्रोसेस था विद डिफरेंट केमिकल इक्वेशंस, इट कैन बी लिटिल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, बट इफ यू वॉच द वीडियो 2-3 टाइम्स, रिवाइज इट 2-3 टाइम्स, इट बिकम्स इजी। वो स्टोरी की तरह याद हो जाता है कि अच्छा पहले ये रिएक्शन होने वाला है, फिर वो रिएक्शन होगा, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। तो स्टोरी की तरह बाय हार्ट हो जाता है। तो जस्ट मे बी वॉच द वीडियो अगेन एंड अगेन, और मे बी जस्ट रिवाइज व्हाटएवर notes you'll have made again and again, and it will make more sense. Okay, so that's it for this learning session. I hope you all enjoyed and have understood whatever we discussed today, and I hope we'll see each other in the next one. Till then, bye, peace, and okay, wait, no bye till yet. Yeah, so till then, bye, peace, and have a nice day. Bye.